Imagine going back to the past year in the year of 1849 and just walking out your front porch in California and seeing 90,000 men outside your house looking for shiny rocks. These shiny rocks were gold, and that is basically what former California residents saw in 1849. In my history classes, I've always enjoyed learning more and more about the gold rush each year. And recently, I've done a lot more research on this subject, and now I know more than I ever have known about this amazing event in our history. As a kid, I would commonly dig holes in other people's yards and get yelled at, so I'm basically just like the 49ers. The California Gold Rush lasted about 7 to 8 years, so it's a dark time that others saw as an enlightenment period. Basically, people just went around looking for shiny rocks, hoping that they would get rich. Firstly, I want to explain how James Marshall started the gold rush, and then talk about what life would be like in the gold rush, and lastly, how and why it ended. James Marshall was building a sawmill for somebody in a stream nearby. He stumbled upon gold right on the surface of the earth, and then it went off like a bomb after the word got out. On January 24, 1848, Marshall was building a water-powered sawmill. Then he observed a stream with lots of gold nearby. Arthur J.S. Halliday, writer of two Gold Rush books, states in his book called The World Rush and the California Gold Rush Experience, states, a carpenter named James Marshall chanced to find several pieces of gold at a place called Coloma. This is what started the gold rush, bringing 90,000 males to California. Next, the 49ers, is what they called the gold miners, by the way, started mining. Once they were mining, many people were being made super rich and others were only finding enough gold to pay the bills. With very much of the gold being taken from the 100,000 plus people mining, gold started to be harder to find. So with this, mining started to become more industrial. The editors of History.com, who have written many articles on the gold rush, state in their article, California Gold Rush, they say, as the gold became more and more difficult to reach, the growing industrialization of mining drove more and more miners from independence into wage labor. The average person only had the ability to get gold off the surface of the earth. Once that was mostly gone, they had to move to bigger companies where they could dig under the ground. The bigger companies would use a system called hydraulic mining, which developed in 1853 but was very effective. The problem was that it was very bad for the environment. University of California, a college that is known for studying the state's history, reveals in their article called Environmental Impact that this caused irreparable environmental destruction. The damage from hydraulic mining was terrible. It even changed whole river transformations because of all the dams that they had to build. Last but not least, the gold rush came to an end. After 750,000 pounds of gold being taken from them darn hills, it became the industry that people ran away from, which was the labor force. They started to be making a lot less money, not doing what they wanted to do anymore, so they moved back. Then Malcolm J. Roberts, authority on the American West and author of Days of Gold, exposes how one gold rush's family financial standings have undergone a series of reverses. This was common for most of the gold rush families back then. They were one of many that realized that the gold rush was over and now is taking money from them. The real end of the California gold rush was when hydraulic mining came to an end. It was banned for its environmental hazards and problems it caused. Stewart Thornton, who received the Independent Publisher Book Award for Traveler, also author of After the Gold Rush, states, it heavily damaged the rivers as far as agricultural use is concerned. The state of California realized that agriculture was making more money than mining, so they banned hydraulic mining to save the agriculture. The California Gold Rush was extremely lucrative for some people, and for others paid as much as their jobs back home paid them. Others even got into major debt. It started with Marshall finding some gold flakes right on the surface of Earth. Then people came in, and a lot of people came in, and started destroying California's environment, which to save that, they had to stop the gold rush, basically. Will there ever be another gold rush? I doubt it, but we already are living through another major part in our history, so let us not gather in groups of 90,000 plus people to maybe find some toilet paper or mask.